Wonderful. All right. It is now 3:06 on Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. And so I'm going to call to order the Sumner County Library Bylaws and Policies Committee. Do a roll call. Start with
Jim Holcomb.
Erica Grammer.
Jackie Wilbur.
Mike Bryan.
and Joanna Daniels. All right, if we can start, Jim, would you mind doing the invocation?
Not at all.
Please?
Heavenly Father, we gather today just grateful to be able to serve this county, this community, and our country in some small way. I pray that you bless this time and give us wisdom, give us hearts for service, and help us be obedient to your word and your will in all we do. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, and we are going to move on to the approval of the approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Jim? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Jackie. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? All right.
It's a thing.
All right, so we approved the agenda. Now we're going to move on to the recognition of the public. As of right now, we have Lauren from Westmoreland. She is joining us today. Do you want to make any public comments, or do you know wait, or you tell me?
No, I'm just looking through notary laws for Tennessee for you.
Okay.
So that's all I'm doing at the moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, wonderful. So no one signed up for public comment. Okay, so we are now going to move on to the approval of the minutes from the October 8th, 2024. I put 2023, just noticed that, so we will actually move on the agenda.
Oh.
So many years,
The last
so many
one we
days,
had.
so many, yes. Okay, so, all right. Anything that, Jim?
Yeah, two things. Item number 4 says
Okay.
approval of minutes October 18th, 2023. Is that correct?
No. It's October 8th, 2024.
Okay.
So sorry.
It's all right. I don't think you're attempting to make us time travel. And then under new business, my last name is
On the
misspelled.
minute, is this on the minutes?
This
This
is
is,
only minutes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
The October 8 minutes.
yes.
And then misspelling of my name there, otherwise it's fine
Okay.
everywhere else. So it looks like it's fine.
All right. So 2 amendments to it would be approval of minutes for October 8th, 2024 instead of October 18th, 2023. And then new business, correcting Jim's name.
And then my name is not on there at all.
Up top.
At the top. Oh, am I?
Oh,
That's what I'm looking at. Right there, at the top. Is that what we're looking at, the top?
oh yeah,
This?
I accidentally
Because
put
you
Kaylee
Yeah.
instead of
Instead of
Mike.
That's all right.
I apologize.
You are in the minutes as you seconded
Yeah.
a motion down under item number 5. So
And then it
Yes.
has to change.
You do
each time
exist.
like,
Yeah.
so.
Well, the 2 personnel and bylaws are so close.
Yeah.
The only difference is you and Kaylee.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
apologize about that.
Oh, that's okay. It's
Um,
all right.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Move to approve the minutes of October 8th, 2024.
As amended?
As amended.
Okay.
Second.
All right. So, Jim, Mike, all in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so now we are going to move on to old business, which is the notary policy. I will entertain a motion to open up discussion for the notary policy that draft that we had
So moved.
done October 8th.
Second.
All right, second.
It's this, right?
Yeah.
Jen,
So you don't need to.
Erica?
Yeah, I'm good.
all in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, wonderful. So this is based on the notes that we took and things that we discussed on October 8th. And also was following the Stokes-Brown Public Library policy and the Nashville policy. And so just want to make sure that we'll just kind of read through it real quick, and if there's anything that you see that needs to be changed or anything like that. So the Sumner County Public Libraries may offer notary public services for the benefit of the residents of the community. The library director of each library may decide if the service will be available at their specific facility. The library's notary is not an attorney licensed to practice in the state of Tennessee. The library's notary may not give legal advice or accept fees for legal advice. The following guidelines will be followed in the provision of notary service. Notary services will only be available during regular library business hours and by appointment only at the discretion of the library director. Notary service is not guaranteed to customers who do not call in advance to schedule an appointment. Does that sound good so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Customers seeking notary services should call the library prior to their visit to ensure that the notary service is available. Valid government-issued photo identification is required of any customer seeking notary service. Notary service is limited to 5 documents per person per visit. And I wanted to ask a quick question here. Is that a lot or is that little? I just went off of what they
I
had.
think that was a notation we had seen on something else,
This one.
and it was to help limit it from being an extensive.
The time.
I was just
it
asking,
gonna
is
take.
5 extensive?
I
Don't
don't
think
think so.
Okay.
If it's the simpler version of things, because of the things that we start getting into of what it does not include.
Yeah,
Okay.
not
I
gonna be
think
real
5 would
estate,
be-
not gonna be those
Yeah.
more,
Okay. Okay. Notary service is free. A library card is not required for this service. Documents in any language other than English will not be notarized at any Sumner County Public Library facility. Notary service is only available for sworn statements, rental agreements, copy certificates, motor vehicles bill of sale, and beneficiary designations for retirement accounts. I did have a question for you. You had said promissory notes. We mentioned that, but I don't think we got into a detail about that. So I wanted to ask, is it specific promissory notes or just any promissory note? Because when I looked up promissory notes, I mean, it could be anything.
yeah, sure can be.
So do we want to put promissory notes in there or just leave it out? What are we thinking here? Because I mean, a real estate action could be, and we had said
Promissory
no
note is
to
just
that.
cash, basically, so it could be
Mhm.
for anything.
Well, you dealt with
Mhm.
it, so.
I mean, I've said this on record many times, but I would just keep it on the simplest side
Okay.
of it because then there's less liability.
Sure.
I also wanted to, in that same conversation, like permission slips, those kind of things. Those are things that are very common with parents needing a notary for going to camp or permission to going to things for churches or for school groups or that kind of thing. So permission slips, like a permission slip concept, or a lot of times even.
So
I know with Boy Scouts we had to have their health documentation notarized as well. So it was just showing a parent giving permission for a child where we had to have that notarized and documented so that a child couldn't sign for the parent.
So what?
And kind of like getting a driver's license, the parent, has to sign.
So what would be a simple verbiage for that? Parental permission slips for various
Organizations.
organizations or subjects?
I think something like that.
Okay, so permission slips, so we want to be able to approve this today to take it in November, so
Permission slips, health records, you were saying something about notarizing
permission.
a health record, like to give to the Boy Scouts or
Slip.
something like
Even the
that?
health records is more like a permission. It's showing the
Would it be
parents.
parental permission slips? How do we want to?
I'm
Go
wondering
ahead.
if the best path forward is what should not be notarized, as opposed to trying to list all the
And I
things
do,
that could be notarized.
That might be the easier list is what, is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
What
The
we
easier
don't
list of
do,
what
and
not to
anything
do.
else is kind
Right,
of up for
anything
grabs.
that's not in there.
Okay. Well,
But then
we
it-
didn't
We may
go.
not-
We didn't go over that list.
We may not
We had
cover
put what we
every
wanted to.
single-
But then we
because you
get
had said to
into-
keep it simple.
Yeah, no,
so-
what we wanted to, right?
Correct.
What we want them to be able to notarize.
Correct.
I think that's the list. Oh, wait, no.
The
No.
list is what we don't notarize,
I got myself turned around in
Yeah.
the
You
double
did.
negative
You
land.
did that.
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
don't notarize.
But that, so we have thought, just put what we want to notarize, because then it would be simple. It just, these are the only things that we do, so.
Okay.
But we can change, but,
And this might need to ebb and flow a little bit too, because we might, in a couple of months, there might be something that comes up and somebody says, hey, this wasn't on the list, but it also wasn't on the, we don't do these
sure.
ones. But we may not get
And that
every
is to the
single
discretion
document.
of the notary as well, like,
Yeah.
If they're
So-
not comfortable,
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
just say no.
And we
And
could
just
that is in
say.
the writing, I
their
think.
use-
Yeah.
How about if we
use
put-
Their discretion.
Sure, like, parental permission slips pertaining to various subjects at the discretion of the notary, or no, different subjects, and then comma, and then, was it called simple forms at the discretion of the notary?
yeah, do we have discretion in here? Because we had talked about putting that
Yeah,
in
we
here.
did.
Yeah,
talk
we
about
have a
that.
lot of their discretion
Yes.
there, but
So
permission slips, okay,
I
all
would,
right.
I would add that to that.
So parental permission slips, because I want to get this right, permission slips pertaining to numerous subjects. And then it's called, and then simple form, is that what it's called? Simple forms.
I think that would be, and then put to the discretion of.
Okay,
But that does start showing that verbiage of simplicity. It is showing that
When you say simple.
what is,
and-
the only available, and it's these things. By saying simple forms, it does create that verbiage of simplicity.
Okay.
We are trying to keep it on the simpler side, less liability. Because you
Okay.
start getting into some very,
okay, so, and simple forms at the discretion of the notary? Is that,
Mhm.
of the
Yeah.
notary?
Mhm.
Sounds
Of the
right.
notary. Okay. And then, again, this goes to the library board next week, and if we find something, we can adopt it, on from there, so.
yes.
Okay, so parental permission slips pertaining to numerous subjects and simple forms at the discretion of the notary.
Does it need to have the pertaining part? I'm curious. Because even parental permission slips and simple forms at the discretion of the notary may get that
So
point
just
across.
parental permission slips?
Because the other doesn't really give a definitive, limit or anything.
Not
So
really
I think we can just
qualified.
take that off.
You're implying with permission slips and simple forms, it is pertaining to numerous subjects.
Mhm.
Okay,
The
so
implication's
we
there.
had just said, different
No.
organizations and
Yeah,
subjects, so
right.
I was just trying to, okay, so,
Yes.
okay, parental permission slips and simple forms, got it. Again, never been notary, so I'm just trying to.
Mhm, yeah, no.
Just to say, one of the
Cover it all.
reasons I became a notary was for the permission slips, because I was involved with
Okay.
ministry a lot, and they had to have them for
Oh, funny.
everything youth group related, so.
Funny.
When
All
you're
right,
taking them out to camp,
Yeah.
you gotta
So-
cover yourself.
Yeah.
Certain public documents cannot be copied and notarized, and it had said in here certain example of these are birth certificates, death certificates, and marriage certificates for this, but we aren't even doing any of those. And then we could put in this, it says, for this service, please contact the Tennessee Office of Vital Records, but that's only pertaining to records, so I didn't even know if that needs to be in there, because we're not doing birth certificates, death
Records,
certificates,
right.
and marriage certificates. So
Mhm.
I can remove that. Or, again, I don't know about, you tell me, can a notary notarize copied documents?
If the signature's
It's-
not copied, the signature has to be.
Signature has to be wet.
Right, it's just about a
The
parent
signature.
saying this is the copy of, it's not verifying that's the official documentation.
Okay, so I can remove that. I was just merging this, but I know that we don't do any of those things.
Mhm.
Mortgages, wills, living wills, or, anything like that. Okay, all right, so I can, do you want me to, certain public documents cannot be copied and notarized, because nothing that we are having them notarize falls under that, correct? So take that out?
Okay, so my thoughts are this, I could completely, I'd be fine with it being taken out, or if we keep it in there, it's just further information so people understand what we're talking about. And if it were to stay as written, I would put that parentheses of the things you just said and where they could pursue it.
But
So
we're
if
not doing any of those.
Right. I'm just saying it helps them know what,
A little clarification.
if they're reading for clarification of what is notary services are all about in the library, for me, it would help them understand we will not be doing these things. So they might think of that as a permission slip. They might think of that as something. It does just define it further. So I mean, if I were reading and I'd be like, I need to have this birth certificate copy, just sign. I need to just sign that this is me turning this in, and you are notarizing. It would help me know that they won't do that here. I don't know if that's making sense, but
No, I hear what you're saying, but I guess if it's not in the 6 things that we notarize, then in my mind, we don't notarize those.
right. I'm just saying further clarification. It's probably what I'm saying. I like that
Most
extra
of
word
them are
of
not gonna
clarification.
look up this policy and read through it. They're just gonna come in and ask you, and the notary's gonna say, we don't do that. You see what I'm saying? They're not gonna look up this policy before they get to the library.
Yeah, the person
Your
that needs
your
the
patron
notary.
is not gonna
Right.
be prepared.
I am the weirdo that
by
does look
reading
that stuff
this.
up, but
I mean, you do, and a lot of people do. But normally they just want something notarized, and if you say we can't do that,
Yeah.
and then you can direct them to where that
And you
how to
set
do
that up on the appointment. You don't even
Yeah.
they don't ever even show up to get
Okay,
it
so then
because
what
you
if-
tell them on the phone you can't do it.
Okay, what if we put like, any documents not listed in this policy, for service, please contact the Tennessee Office of Vital Records.
I think that at least
That-
that helps people know where to go to. Sometimes people just don't know where to go for that further stuff.
Is that,
So I think that would
Yeah.
be,
I think that'd be.
Read that again.
okay, for any documents wanting to be notarized by a customer that is not listed in this policy, please refer to Tennessee Office of Vital Records. I don't remember.
For any other
How-
documents
how-
needing to be
how is that
notarized.
thing, how is it written? How is the verbiage?
This just says, certain public documents cannot be copied and notarized. Examples of these are birth certificates, death certificates and marriage certificates for this service, please contact the Tennessee Office of Vital Records. So certain public documents
Why not just word
cannot
it
be
just like that?
notarized. Cannot
I
be
actually like the
notarized.
word,
Okay.
I like the worded.
Yeah, why not just word it exactly like that?
Well, we don't need copied in there, so that's fine. Yep, certain public documents cannot be notarized. And then examples of these are birth certificates, death certificates, and marriage certificates. For this service, please contact the Tennessee Office of Vital Records. So just put that in there.
I think
Makes sense.
that's,
Okay.
that's reasonable.
It's
Cannot-
clear.
Already been vetted and,
Cannot be notarized. Okay. Okay.
makes it easier.
Well, it was,
Quicker.
that was pertaining to things that can be copied, you know what I mean, so that's why,
Yeah.
but yes, but I'm good, simple, copy and paste. Certain public documents cannot be notarized. Examples of these are birth certificates, death certificates, and marriage certificates. For this service, please contact the Tennessee Office of Vital Records. Got it. Okay. The notary in any library shall never notarize any signature without the maker of the signature first appearing personally before the notary. Signatures must be executed in the presence of the notary. In situations where a witness is required, the library will not provide witnesses, and witnesses may not be solicited from customers using the library. In order to serve as a witness, the witness must personally know the individual whose document is being notarized and must be in possession of a valid photo identification. In accordance with the law, the notary will not provide service if the customer, document, or circumstances raise any issues of authenticity, ambiguity, doubt, or uncertainty for the library. In this event,
That should be a
that's
period. there.
Yep, just thought. In this event, the library notary may, at his or her sole discretion, decline to provide notary service. The library director, library board, the city that the library is in, or should I put that resides in? I don't know. Is in the library, the Sumner County, and Sumner County will not be held liable for any actions taken by the notary. If the notary is the library director, any legal action or notary misconduct will be possible grounds for termination. The library director will supply statistics on notary services and their report to the library board, and any library employees wishing to become a notary to provide notary service in any Sumner County Public Library shall do so at their own expense. The library shall not budget any monies for reimbursement or classes for a certificate of notary.
Yes, I think, and the question you came to, the city that the library is in, it can be the city of the library or
City reside.
or the library,
resides-
I mean, the city that the library resides in, or,
Resides in, okay.
yeah, I think.
I was just trying to put it in. Okay, library, anything in there that you don't like or needs to
I think
change?
that sounds good. for me. It covers a lot of the bases that we were trying to make sure got covered. I think it's clear.
Okay,
And like Mike said, if we, you know, put this in place, if we come across
Mhm.
something we need to tweak,
Yeah, we can
we
tweak
can
it.
always tweak it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
not a hard and fast, you
No,
know,
it's-
permanent, set in stone thing.
I'd love to check with our director who currently
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
notary policy, to see if,
In,
do you
in
want to break,
place.
suspend Robert's rules?
yeah, yes, and then I'll go ahead and ask the question.
Okay.
Perfect. I move to
And I
suspend Robert's
second.
rules.
Okay, all
She
right,
just
Jim.
seconded.
Yeah,
Perfect.
second.
She just seconded.
Jackie, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, all opposed, anybody opposed? Okay, great.
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 Perfect. Hello, Laura.
1, 2, 3, go.
Anything we're covering in here that, or anything that's missing that would prohibit or allow you to have a better, more functioning, policy and better able to serve your customers and.
I think, I mean, y'all covered as many bases as I think you possibly can on notary services. The one thing, and I mentioned it, and she said it at the beginning of the meeting, that I'd sent it to my notary on staff and just said, is there anything that raises red flags?
Right.
Is there anything
Awesome.
that's weird? And she said, I'll always ask that minors be accompanied by a guardian and provide their original birth certificate, and that's with a minor that doesn't have like an ID or something like that. Very rare that happens. One thing that did, then she gave an example, was that someone had a housing application, and they were gonna go to Western, and they were 17 years old.
Oh, got
And she
it.
asked for the
Yeah.
parent to be involved in that.
Yeah.
So just like, and it's just legal stuff on that.
Sure.
end. So like minors can't enter a contract technically unless
That's
it's
right.
like college financing, like Sally Mae, and the devil and all that. So, and the only time a minor can't have a parent or guardian is if they're emancipated. So I think just requiring that documentation, and that's just Tennessee State.
Yeah, yeah.
I looked for all through LexisNexis and all that stuff, but I couldn't find anything.
For the
Okay.
statute?
Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah, just making sure minors are covered.
Not
But I
overly-
think as it's written, it should be fine, and like a notary should be able to look at the
Should
person and
use their
say,
discretion and
you
know
need a
that.
parent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's at the discretion of the
Yes.
notary. They're gonna
Right.
protect
So I think
themselves.
everything's
Yeah.
covered then.
So this
Okay.
this serves you well and how you've seen it functioning and
They don't
things.
think we need to put those wordings in there to, just
I
the
think
description
way
of the notary is good enough to have that
Yeah.
covered, because the notary will know that stuff.
And I even messaged my aunt who used to be a notary with a bank, and she said she didn't notarize minor signatures since they're not legal adults. And that goes into the whole like emancipated versus minors and all that. So, but I think as a notary, you sign that bond, you sign that insurance,
Right.
all of that.
Great.
So as long as we've got that discretion of the notary, then we should be good.
Okay.
And that covers our butts and the notary having
Yeah,
that responsibility.
for sure. Okay. We just want to protect y'all too.
Yeah.
Well, we want to make sure this isn't overly burdensome or not
Right.
No,
direct,
I
you
think
know.
it covers everything,
Great.
and providing statistics and stuff, I think that's pretty normal standard. I'm fine with that.
And what I like about us not putting it in per se, it does give that discretion to the
Right.
notary, because some people are going to
We can't
do
cover every
minors and
single
some are
thing
not.
that could ever,
Yes.
because that was.
And you can always go back to the
Yes.
Tennessee statute and say, look, you know,
Yeah,
they're not overstepping here.
Yeah.
They're leaving it up to me to say,
Right.
I'm
yeah,
not comfortable doing that. You know?
exactly.
So, Susie
Okay.
Trout, our note taker, told me an interesting story one time. She's a notary for the county. I mean, you know, of course they have several, but she had a mother that had twin sons, and she brought one twin with his brother's birth certificate, identical twins, trying to get, and I don't know how this was, him to inherit or get some property that the other twin was actually entitled
It's
to.
like biblical.
I know, it
Yeah.
sounds
Right.
familiar. It's
Yeah,
another
Yeah.
but she
story.
said that actually happened to her
Wow.
in this
Did you
building.
put a costume on?
Right, right.
And, you know,
Yeah.
well, if they're identical, you know,
Yeah.
if they're identical twins,
Yeah.
you
Wow.
could bring a. She said he had a
Yeah.
driver's license, but it was the wrong twins. Had a
Oh,
valid
wow.
ID, but it was the wrong twin because they were identical.
Wow.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move it.
I'm gonna
Bring it back.
Amazing.
move to bring us back into
Okay,
Robert's rules.
all right,
Thank
Jim?
you.
I second
Thank you.
that.
All right, Erica? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Anybody opposed? Okay, all right, wonderful. So, okay, so I will entertain a motion to adopt the notary service guidelines policy as amended today and to move on to the full library board for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Right, so Jim, Mike, all in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, wonderful. All right, so now we are going to move on to the collection and development policy. And I will open up a motion, I will entertain a motion to open up discussion for changes to the collection development policy.
So moved.
Okay, Jim? Do I have a second?
Second.
Mike, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. As I said before, there's just a few things here. If you look on, and I highlighted them on page 5, for donations, we replaced recycled with for free to the community or to be disposed of. That way there's no specific on how it doesn't have to be recycled, it's just disposed of. And then also on page 8, again, we friends may identify items that can be sold at their book sales, which are primary fundraisers for the library. Items that are unable to be sold or given away are to be disposed of. That was recycled, but we moved it to disposed of. And then, I think there was one more. Where there's the third one. Hold on. Give me 1 second, let me grab my notes. So, yeah, it was under weeded books. Didn't highlight it. Maybe it's under weeded books.
Is it another disposed of?
Yes.
Really, that's the only
Meeting.
wording that got changed, those three.
Yeah, yes, so fund resources. Okay, so it was page 8. And, I'm sold, and then it should be protecting children as outlined, protecting children as outlined. Okay, access to, and that one actually was supposed to be and will be disposed of.
Where's that?
It's under weeded books. That was the one we actually added. I apologize. I don't know why it didn't go in there.
Oh,
So under, on page 8,
okay.
at the end, as an outline in the protecting children from harmful sexually explicit material policy.
Hold
Any
on,
materials,
sorry. I'm just trying to find where we're at.
okay, page 8.
So after
Yep.
the highlight,
Okay, after the highlight,
Yeah, no
yeah.
problem. After the highlight, you go
Beginning with
down-
as.
yeah.
Yes,
Got it.
beginning with as.
Perfect.
As outlined in the Protecting Children from Harmful Sexual Explicit Material Policy. Any materials taken from the area intended for minors may not be reshelved in areas that minors have access to and will be disposed of. That was the addition, and for some reason it did not follow through. Will be disposed of.
Give me the disposed of language again.
And it will be disposed of. Oh, sorry, and will be disposed of. Lord have mercy. And will be
And
disposed of.
will be
I don't know
disposed
why I
of.
put it in there. Because that was what we had discussed last time. I
Right.
put it here and then for some
Gotcha.
reason
Yeah,
it didn't
didn't
go
type
on
it.
here. I don't know why. So those were the only 3 changes that we made, as is referenced by legal when it comes to the surplus.
Where was the
Okay.
first one?
First one's gonna be page, under donations,
Page 5.
page 5.
Mhm.
Highlighted.
Okay.
I would only add that we strike the word of and just use disposed, because of is the preposition, and that means that something is to be, Conan the grammarian here.
Yeah,
That may be the same
Legal
situation.
gave me this, so I'm just
Did
following
they?
them, so.
Yeah.
But we can
Paid
absolutely
by the
do
word.
or be disposed.
Yeah,
And that would be-
and are to be disposed, on 8 as well.
Okay?
That would be
Sounds good to
true,
me.
I was gonna say, that'd be true to those as well. So
Yeah, and then,
Disposed, okay?
That would be all
Or
3 of them,
will
actually.
be disposed.
on, continuing on 8, on the last part you read, may not be reshelved in areas that minors have access to being a preposition, I would rewrite it, to which minors have access and will be disposed.
Sounds good to me.
Areas to which minors have access
And
will,
minor access and
will be
will be
disposed.
disposed.
May not be
Okay.
reshelved in areas to which minors have access, comma, and will be disposed.
Okay? Sounds good to me.
Okay.
My grammar teacher would be very proud of you.
Okay. And I thought it was weird, but hey,
Yeah.
all one thing, so, okay, all right, so, all right, then I will entertain a motion to, accept the collection development and management policy as amended and move it on to the library board for approval.
So moved.
Okay, Mike?
I second that.
Okay, Erica? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, and passes. All right, now, set here to review all library policies. And we did not do this because Jackie was not here last time. We were already running over. So all of you, apologize, Jackie, I did not bring a packet for you, but I did give last time, and I think you have it. Actually, I do have one here. There's this one, and then do you, Jackie, have? Yes. Can you hand this to Jackie, please?
Okay.
Thank you. What you have in your hand, Jackie, and I gave out last time, is the policies that we right now have in force, and then the other packet is the rough draft of all the policies.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
in that order.
you should have all of those, but I printed them out. So we are supposed to be reviewing these yearly, updating things, and I also noticed that even the policies that we have right now have not been merged into this packet that we have. So with that being said, I do believe we have a little bit of work ahead of us. And so I would like to start scheduling that so that we can start going through the policies. Also, the mission statement has not been revised or checked, and that's supposed to be revised and checked every year as well. I don't think it's been updated since 2018, 2017, something like that. A lot of these are adopted in 2018. So this one was adopted in 2016. So
I don't think it's time.
yeah.
So we just need to clean that up and get all that
Mm-hmm.
interwoven.
Correct.
Correct.
So
Current, refreshed.
yes, so with that being said, I'd like to put a date for the first meeting for us to begin that process. And what I can do then is when I put the agenda together, I can put which policies, I'll just start at the beginning of the packet, and then you guys can review that, and then we can come and attack it like that.
Sure.
Okay? All right, so I know we have next week, and then we're looking at Thanksgiving. Do you guys want to look at the beginning of December to start this, or do we want to look at the week before Thanksgiving to start this?
I will be out of town the entire week.
Before Thanksgiving?
Yes,
Okay.
16, I'm out of town 16th through 23rd.
Okay.
And I'm out of town
Of
that
November.
week of
November.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then he just said he's out of town the week
The week
after
of
Thanksgiving.
So
But
we
December
can
sounds good.
look at the week of December 3rd.
I would be okay with next week if we wanted to, I don't know if anybody else would, but I would be okay. I'm fairly free next week.
Well, we have the big library board meeting next week.
Okay.
And we have a pretty extensive agenda.
Okay.
And so we might want to look at the beginning of December.
Okay, cool.
The only day I'm available that week is December 2nd.
And I'm
That's my
not
birthday.
available.
Happy birthday.
So I'm definitely not
That's your
available.
birthday?
Happy
That's my
birthday.
Oh, okay,
December
well,
2nd.
hey.
My birthday, it doesn't matter when my
Now,
birthday
when, I want to know, when is your
We want to
birthday?
know, we want to know.
I told you mine.
It's all right. It's a public forum. I don't want to.
Yeah. You
I don't need all the birthday
You don't want to
cards.
get
Well
birthday
Yeah.
cards
That's it.
and
They're gonna love
calls.
Hate mail, right?
They're gonna love on you. They would wish you.
Okay, so, okay.
So what day are you available that week?
That
Not-
really is it.
The second.
Then I
Oh, the
leave
second.
on
see.
that Wednesday, and my wife's out of town on I could drag a reluctant child and have him sit in the back.
Oh, the December
3rd.
3rd?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could
I
do
can
the
do the
third.
third.
But he can't.
No, he's gonna hate me, but
Well,
We don't want your
I'm
child
not
to
home
hate
until
you.
the 3rd.
Yeah,
Oh.
we'll just skip that.
Okay.
I could do the 4th.
And I
Yeah,
can
I'm
do
gone
this
the
anywhere,
morning.
so-
Yeah, okay.
I'm
No,
not.
But
Can't
you're,
look forward.
you said you're leaving.
So let's
right?
look
I'm
at the
leaving on the
following
3rd.
week.
Yeah.
Well, the week of the 9th.
I'm all good.
I'm
Week of the
free that
ninth?
whole week, so,
The
yeah,
week of the 9th.
pretty much.
Let me look at the 12th. The 12th, if it's middle of the afternoon, my granddaughter's got a basketball game, and that kind of trumps everything, you know.
Sure, sure.
You know.
So
As it
you're,
should.
you're
So-
available every day but the 12th, is that what I'm hearing?
Of that week, yes.
Okay, okay.
Because the 11th is a 6:30 night thing, so we're not going to do, you know, we won't last that long, I don't think, so,
I would be open on that weekend, that week.
yeah, so.
Okay.
The 11th, Wednesday,
I do have
I'm free.
the consideration of, I'm not available until 3:30 is the easier time for me. 3 is, I would have a son here, which is fine.
Okay.
I can do 3:30.
I could do 3:30 on the 11th, is that what you're talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah, I could do 3:30 on the 11th.
Okay, okay. So the only other consideration, is, I'm just gonna say this, is that we also have to do an evaluation in December too. So just letting you know that.
Who's getting evaluated?
I don't know, who could that be?
Somebody awesome, I hear.
So just, you know, we could do
Like
on
what
the
we-
same, like today,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of back to back if we
Mhm.
needed to.
So I'm just trying to put that out there. So,
And some of these, all
So do
we'll have
we-
to do is go through and just clean it up. It's not like we're, you know, some of these policies, it's
Right.
just
Sure.
cleaning up the language. So we could, you know, just take some out, knock out as much as we can, then drop back and punt, you know,
Yeah.
reschedule.
take
What
it
do you
back up for the
thinking,
next.
Jim, you're,
We
Nothing.
need to have like homework too, so we know what,
Yeah,
how to be
Sure.
prepared for those.
yeah,
I don't want to just get to the meeting and then start. I want to
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
know what we're
Right,
working
And that's what
on.
she had just
yeah,
said.
yes,
Yeah.
I will send a list.
We'll know what
of what's
sections
on the
we're working
agenda
on
and
and-
then
Yeah.
move forward on.
So
So,
we could work until that time and then set it
Yeah,
off to the next.
transition.
so
Or
do we
hopefully
wanna
be done.
do,
Evaluation.
because I would say we need at least an hour to work. So it would be 3:30 and this closes at 5:30. So we could do 3:30 to 4:30 and then 4:30 to 5:30 for,
an evaluation.
and we still
For
have to
personnel.
make sure that works with Kaylee for personnel, for the
Yeah.
linemen,
Right.
you know what I mean? You know, I'm gonna say this, hold on a second. Can we move it to something other than a Wednesday? Because church,
Well,
But she said it does.
a Wednesday works for
I know
me
that
because,
Kaylee has church issues
Oh.
too.
what time does she have to? Because if I'm out of here by 6:30, I can get to the top of Ridge by 7. If nobody's in my way, you know, I can make it. But, and usually we are, except for a time or two, we're through. What time does she have to be out of here?
Sometimes 5:30
Mm.
and sometimes 5.
Can we tentatively set it that way and then just check in with her?
Sure.
Because I know sometimes she's,
Okay.
Yeah.
sometimes she has an
Because
early need,
If,
sometimes not.
if it doesn't work, can we move it to 3? Starting at 3.
I could do it
Okay.
anytime that day, so
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
can
matter
do,
for me.
I can do
Okay.
3.
Okay, all right, so let's do 3:30 and then we'll tentatively on that and then for policies and bylaws. Okay, bylaws, policies.
So 3:30?
Yep, 3:30 and then we'll go from there. And that keeps us under the gun. We gotta work, go forward and move. So,
Yep.
okay, so I will entertain a motion to set the first calendar date for the review of library policies for December 11th at 3:30 p.m.
So
Okay.
moved.
So moved? We have
We
a
good.
tie here.
Go ahead.
Okay.
It was like,
To Mike.
Okay, all right, so we'll do Mike. Okay, and do I have a second?
Anybody else? I'll second.
Okay, Jim,
I was
okay.
letting her.
I think
All
we
right, all
kind
in
of
favor, say
should
aye.
move second,
Aye.
all like,
Anybody opposed? No? Any abstentions? No, all right. So then we are moving on to
I was
the
like, was
grand
that a good
finale.
She was raising her hand, I was like, are you good?
No, I was trying to get it in my phone. and I lost focus. But I'm
Quick
good.
question
Yes.
before
We were
my
all
favorite part of
eyes.
every
Yes.
meeting. So, in the upcoming Personnel Committee meeting, under old business, we have director evaluation policy. It is occurring to me, sitting in this policy and bylaws committee meeting, that maybe that's not the best place to discuss the change to an existing policy. And that maybe, I don't know, the bylaws and policy committee would be the best place to discuss that. So,
True, it sounds,
Right.
it
So-
sounds like it matches up better.
Right.
Yeah, and I know that it originally came out of the personnel
It did.
committee.
It should have been referred to the policy and bylaws
Correct.
committee. Right.
So, I think that sticking with the personnel and the evaluation policy in the personnel, I think that that would be better, because that way we can get it to the library board in November to vote for? Or what are you suggesting?
Well,
Tell me.
I don't know that it is, and
Mhm.
obviously very new to all this and how we work here. I don't know that the personnel committee has the authority to make a change or to vote changes to the policies and send those to the board, right? That's my only concern.
Mhm.
I'm open to being wrong.
Because one is personnel, one is specifically policies.
Mhm.
So,
And I think that the only reason I went to personnel for the policy was because it was specifically with director evaluation.
Well, it came out of
and
that.
personnel.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I have a thought.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, like if budget, if they were to have certain needs in policy and they needed to kind of review something or create something,
Mhm.
and they brought it, so I think it should process the way it's been processing, because it is about the need of personnel and staff.
Great.
But when it's brought to the board
Mhm.
meeting, if there was ever a conflict or needing further conversation because of bylaw needs, it could be referred to, back to policy or bylaws, and we could go from there. But it,
Mhm.
because if we have conflict with it, or if there's something, from a bylaw policy side,
I'm tracking. Okay.
Yeah.
That
No,
sound-
I think that
I
that
think
was
that's a
the
fair
original,
fair
I think that was the original
concept,
thought
'cause I hear your
process
thought.
when it
Yeah.
came to personnel,
Thanks.
because then,
'Cause I thought
because
the same.
budget is the committee that deals with budgets, and they would understand more on how to create that, and then it
Right.
could go to policies, and so.
Okay.
Would,
So as we
Okay.
make the changes to the personnel, as we look at this today, once it's voted on, then when it becomes policy, it can go from one to the other.
yeah, because then
Is
it
that
can
what
go
you
to the
just said? And I
policies,
missed you. Okay.
policies and bylaws
Well,
committee,
by
just
nature,
to make
it's
sure
gonna-
that it's all
Right, yeah.
congruency. Is that what we're kind of thinking?
Mhm.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think we're wanting to resolve it today so we can go before the full library board next week, right? And so that, what was just explained,
Yeah.
personnel to bylaws to the board wouldn't happen that way, not until January.
right?
Correct, but I'm just saying, if there's a problem, then it could go to the personnel, I mean, not the bylaws and policies.
The full board.
Yeah,
Yeah, and by nature, it comes, once it's even adopted, if adopted by the board, by nature, it comes to policies. It becomes part of our
Yeah.
To be-
data.
to be
And if we ever
merged
needed
into
to bring
policies.
forth,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll-
different verbiage or different things to keep it congruent,
Sure.
we could take issue with it before, we could take issue with it after, if there was an issue,
Okay.
is my thoughts.
Okay.
Is that correct? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that
Given
fair
the makeup
thought?
of the committee, it'd be a Kaylee Mike Rumble if there's a big disagreement.
Right.
All right.
No more.
Yeah.
With that grenade I've thrown in your lap,
Do you
I'll
need me to come adjourn for you?
motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
and Mike, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Okay.
Okay, all right, motion passes. Any abstentions? No, okay, motion passes. Okay, sorry, so Jim.
Can you
and
ever
Mike.
get anybody to
Okay.
agree to this adjournment?
Wonderful, can you push this off?
Kaylee, what's up?